How's it going, guys? Today's video, we are going to be doing a top 5 AR meta breakdown of season 4.5 Reloaded. You guys do not want to do calculus and do all this math and trying to figure out what the best guns are after all of these patch notes that came out recently. We gave it a little bit of time, and I firmly believe these are the top 5 ARs currently in the game. I'm going to also give you guys a power ranking. This is my opinion on 1 all the way through 5. The ARs I'm about to show you guys is what I use to maintain our #1 kill spot for solos in Warzone. Here are our stats from the last 4 seasons. Boom. As always, this is just my opinion. I'm sure everyone has different favorites, and honestly, a lot of these guns are going to be different depending on your playstyle. All right, coming in at number 1 of the AR meta, I firmly believe the KG is the Mac Daddy, simply for the reasons that it has literally no recoil whatsoever. Like, my grandma could post up with this thing and laser somebody off a head glitch from 250 meters away. It currently has the least amount of recoil in the entire game, in my opinion. Also, it has that 3.6 sight, and it has absolutely insane bullet velocity. You're going to be hitting people out of the sky. You could literally easily laser people out of vehicles, out of helicopters, or just people flying in. It has insane bullet velocity, insane recoil control, no sway, and it has a beautiful 60 round size mag. So here is the build we are rocking for this thing. We got ourselves MX silencer, the shrouded barrel, 3.6 padded. We're gonna go ahead and throw on tight grip. Anytime you have tight grip, guys, you always want to stack that polymer and that tight grip. It's going to go ahead and maximize your continuous firing recoil, which just pretty much means the gun's going to be more stable the longer you shoot. On hand for faster ADS, 60 round, lengthen, and hand stop. So this is the stable, no recoil build. And for my demons out there that want a slightly faster ADS, I have been trying out Mark Skeletal on this thing as well to kind of give it a little faster ADS. It doesn't make too much of a difference, but honestly, the other attachments on this puppy literally already give it no recoil. So hand stop is almost just overkill because this thing is very, very easy to control. So the pros of this gun overall, very, very manageable recoil, little to no recoil, godlike bullet velocity, and it's got that beautiful 3.6 sight that all the Vanguard guns have. It's amazing for long range, and it just hits like a truck at all ranges, and it's very easy to hit all your shots at all ranges. Now, the cons of this puppy, it's got clunky mobility and clunky ADS, and also a moderately slow reload time. All right, guys, I hate to say this, man, but the NZ41, even 47 nerfs later, they cannot take out this gun. It is the Bren 2.0. This thing still has unreal ADS time. It has an amazing recoil control. The time to kill definitely has been taken down a little bit, but when you just have that super solid ADS time and that super solid recoil control, it's pretty easy to see why this gun is so good. Pair up with that 3.6 sight that the Vanguard guns have, and what I currently believe to be the reason why Vanguard guns are just so good in comparison to the other guns in the game. The NZ is very, 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 very difficult to nerf. All right, so without further ado, the build I am rocking on the NZ is... we got the MX silencer, the Orb Weaver, 3.6. Got the E-Pack. You got to throw braced on hand as well for faster ADS. Braces for the initial firing recoil. Hash is going to give you overall sustained recoil. Sakura 50 for more recoil adjustment. Lengthened for more bullet velocity. And we're going to go ahead and throw on that Strife angled for horizontal recoil, guys. The reason you see most people throw on that Strife angled on a gun is not every gun's recoil control is exactly the same, but most guns have a lot of horizontal recoil, and horizontal recoil is that left and right recoil we want to go ahead and reduce, because it's very easy to pull down on a stick and control vertical recoil up and down. But when it comes to horizontal left and right recoil, that's going to be very difficult to track somebody if the gun's literally, flailing around like Magikarp trying to use splash or something. I don't know. But you definitely want to go ahead and get rid of that horizontal recoil. So this is going to be hands down the meta build. Also, I have been seeing a couple people actually go back to the burst barrel. And if you do go back to the burst barrel, the time to kill gets jacked all the way up to where this is one of the fastest time to kill guns in the game. The only problem is that you are going to have a much harder time controlling this gun with the burst. All right, so the overall pros of the NZ and why I have it at number 2 as an amazing ADS time, super good mobility, and great recoil management. Now, the cons on this puppy is that they have absolutely jacked down the time to kill on this thing. It does have a little bit of recoil at super ultra ranges, where before nerfs, it was still able to be manageable. So super ultra, when you're in a 6x on your 3.6, you're going to see some recoil long range, but the time to kill has definitely been jacked down, and you need to hit headshots to get a good time to kill. Still an extremely easy gun to use and an extremely snappy gun to use, but it does have its drawbacks. You have to be pretty accurate to use this thing. All right, guys, controversial pick number 3. In third place right now, the buffed Volkstrom Gooer is actually so underrated. The drawback of this puppy is that it only has 45 bullets, but for somebody like me that plays mostly solos, honestly, I don't have that big of a problem with that. The time to kill is absurd. It blows out every single gun out of the water in time to kill. It is even better than SMG's up close in time to kill. The time to kill on this thing is crazy ever since they have buffed the mag on this thing, and I believe they buffed the barrel as well, but don't quote me on that. Overall, this thing's just super good. The drawbacks are the low ammo capacity and the recoil, super long range. Without further ado, let's go ahead and see the build I'm rocking. I got MX silencer, crossnick, 3.6 optic. The stock on it is going to be the crossnick S12 VPS. Got perfectionist on it. On hand, you want stippled because the beginning recoil of this thing is absolutely disgusting. It literally goes like boop boop. It literally, like, it's weird. It's like the Ram 7 kind of. If you guys remember Ram 7 from MW, I would compare it to that. So stippled actually kind of gets rid of that initial 45 round. Of course, this is the super buffed mag that you definitely need to run. Lengthen and strife angled for that horizontal recoil that we were talking about before. Guys, the main pros of this puppy is going to be absurd time to kill. There's not a single gun that's going to be gunning this thing medium range. It has an extremely snappy ADS time and extremely mobile. This thing can be used as an SMG, as an AR. It literally is the do-it-all gun right now. Pros are going to be extremely fast time to kill, great snappiness, and great mobility on this thing. Now, the cons in this thing is, as you do get further and further away, you definitely do kind of realize that this thing has a little bit of recoil, especially in that 6x zoom option. You're going to see a little bit more recoil on the cross map. Maybe if somebody's on a head glitch or people are playing power positions on you. And also another con is going to be that 45 mag size. If you do play solos or duos, it won't really bite you in the ass as much. But if you are a trios and quads player, this might not be the gun for you. Alrighty, guys, coming in at number 4. We have ourselves the Cooper carbine, and one single attachment on this puppy is why I have it at number 4 instead of some of the other ARs that are actually pretty solid. This thing is going to give you a great time to kill, medium range and short range, and even into long range. Just not that good ultra long range like the KG and the NZ, but it has a very respectable time to kill, very easy manageable recoil, and honestly a pretty solid ADS and mobility stat. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about it. All right. The MX silencer for the muzzle. We got the Cooper custom barrel. The 3.6, of course. The 3.6 is the best sight in the game, guys. If you're not using 3.6, trust me, just put it on. It's insane for your recoil control management and also for long-range gunfights. There's nothing better than it. Custom padded, guys. What you see that custom padded does is you have that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, what we talked about early, right? So that's going to all stack up with tight grip and polymer. So we have 3 recoil attachments for sustained fire, which means that once you get past the first couple bullets of this thing, it is an absolute laser. We got on hand for the perk 2. Always want to run on hand on your ARs because you get faster ADS time. We got the 9mm 60 round mags. We got compressed rounds, and this is what I was talking about. This one attachment that no other AR has. It's going to jack up fire rate. What does that mean? Faster fire rate means faster time to kill. So yes, you're going to chew through ammo a little bit faster, but if you hit your shots, you're going to be gunning some of these other ARs on the list simply because you have more bullets that you're spitting out at a faster fire rate. And then last but not least, strife angle for that horizontal recoil control. Honestly, if you are having a hard time controlling compressed, you could always go ahead and throw on that lengthen. This is going to give you a true little to no recoil build. But if you do want that faster time to kill for a little bit less range, it's a little bit of a trade-off. Compressed is going to be your go-to. So the main pros of this thing is it's just an overall well-rounded gun. It's got a great ADS. It's got pretty solid mobility. The fire rate is phenomenal when you have the compressed rounds, and you're going to be gunning other ARs on this list, medium and short range. Now, the cons in this is long range, especially if you're using the compressed rounds, you're going to run into an issue where you're chewing through ammo really fast. So it's going to be running out of ammo often and not too much damage output. Super long range. It does struggle at range. But pretty much the main con of this is it's going to have a hard time keeping up with some of these other ARs at super long range. And last but not least, probably the most controversial pick of the entire video, we have the M13 at 5th place. There were so many guns that like it was like a 10-way tie for this last 5th place. But I firmly believe with the recent neck damage multiplier that they have given this M13, and from some of the times I've used this personally, this thing just can absolutely shred at times. The reason it is the only MW gun right now, in my opinion, that could match up with the 3.6 sights of the Vanguard rifles. Unfortunately, you do only have that VLK, which is a major drawback. You really realize just how broken the 3.6 sight is when you do use this VLK, and it's not as easy for the long range shots. The fire rate's phenomenal. Time to kill is great. And honestly, the recoil control is really good. So let's go ahead and see what build we're rocking. We got ourselves monolithic suppressor, Tempest marksman, commando, foregrip, 60 round mags, and we got that VLK, baby. Unfortunately, we got the VLK. So the major drawback of this gun, guys, is going to be that 3x optic. You don't have the option to kind of zoom in for the ultra range gunfights, but that's okay because medium range, long range, and short range, this thing absolutely shreds through people and it's got little to no recoil, probably the most manageable AR out of all of the MW and Cold War guns. And honestly, the NAC multiplier has just turned this thing into an absolute beast that can compete with all the others on this list. The main pros of this gun is going to be super fast ADS, great mobility, super snappy, and a very, very fast reload time, as well as it's going to excel in the close and medium range gunfights against the other ARs on this list. And the main con is going to be the long range game. It's going to kind of chew through ammo, and it doesn't have that 3.6 sight that the other Vanguard guns have. If it did have a 3.6 sight, this thing would probably be higher on the list, but unfortunately the VLK 3X optic does hold it back just a little bit when it comes to like maybe ripping somebody off of a vehicle or ripping somebody off of a head glitch at a long distance gunfight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, guys. Some honorable mentions is going to be the AS44, the Automaton, and the Kilo. But if you guys do want to watch more gameplays and full-length gameplays with a lot of these meta guns on the game, we have a whole bunch of high kill content on the channel displaying what these guns are capable of, and it would be an absolute pleasure to have you guys on board. So if you're new to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, you look freaking good. You have a blessed rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye-bye.